quit my job in finance right after the pandemic with no backup plan.
The fact that I quit my job with no plans.
Today's video, I'm going to be talking about why and how I decided to quit my job a year ago without having a secure backup plan.
If you're thinking about it, don't you dare do it. The idea of quitting your 9 to 5 and pursuing your passion is something that has been over glamorized by a lot of people, and there are a lot of YouTubers, a lot of videos out there telling you to quit your job without a plan. I feel like that is very, very reckless, and that is very, very irresponsible. Just quitting your 9 to 5 without a plan. Come on, that's ridiculous. These videos are out there encouraging young, naive people to take this risk, to take this huge step without emphasizing the risks attached to doing this. That's mad. Let me tell you something. Not everyone that works in 9 to 5 is having a very miserable life. Not everyone that works 9 to 5 hates their job. Not everyone that works 9 to 5 feels like they are not getting any sort of satisfaction from their job. That is like a very huge misconception. What you fail to notice or understand is that once you quit to chase your passion, you're literally trading your 9 to 5 for your 24 hours. Think about it. Personally, I think that it is not wise to quit your 9 to 5 without a backup plan. I feel like that's crazy and that's reckless. In this video, I'll be telling you how you can live a pretty good life without quitting your 9 to 5 until when necessary. So, first of all, first thing to point out, having a 9 to 5 definitely has its own downsides. And one of them, which is one of the biggest problems, is that you don't really get paid enough for the kind of work that you do. Most times this usually results to job hopping, and we know that now job hopping is a thing. Back in the days, back in our parents' days, you'll be given the bombastic side eye if you dare switch companies. And that's why you notice that most of our parents have been in a company for what, 20 years, 30 years, and just for the longest. But in our generation, we're given like what, 1-2 years and everyone is job hopping. And that's just because you can get triple your salary by just job hopping. If you stay in a place for too long, it's quite difficult for you to get the kind of raise you would get if you actually hop jobs. And then there's an expectation from employers to work overtime without pay. They expect you to kind of like put in all your energy, all your strength into the job. They expect you to work during the weekends and put in some time in the morning to work without pay. That is a problem. And then there is this lack of stability. What I mean is that some people say, oh, I have a permanent role. It's not a permanent role, because what if one day the company comes and says, I'm making a list of people redundant from this company and we're unemploying a lot of people and we're removing some people from our payroll and whatever they might say, then God forbid it happens to anyone. What do you do at that point, right? So I think that these are like the problems. There are a lot more problems with working 9 to 5. But there are also problems with working as an entrepreneur. So one of the cons of working as an entrepreneur is that you would work harder and for longer hours. So 9 to 5 where you'll be working more hours. You'd be more bothered, more involved. There will be this constant feeling of guilt when you're not working, and it's like your entire time is into that job, your entire time is channeled into that work, and this could affect your mental and physical being. And if you quit just like that to start your business, you might not get paid for some time. So it's really, really dicey. There's a lack of stable income. That income that comes monthly, you might not get that for a while, and even when you do, it might be very irregular. I could keep going on and on and on. My point is, there are pros and cons of working 9 to 5 and also working as an entrepreneur. Like, being your own boss or not, there are downsides to it. Okay, there are a lot of risks and instabilities working both 9 to 5 and working as an entrepreneur. So how can you stay in your 9 to 5 if you're not ready to quit yet, while maintaining a very fulfilling life in the meantime? So first thing I want you to do is to create time for yourself. Now, this comes with the understanding that your own goals are different from your company's goals. By understanding this, you want to actually create time for yourself. This means that you're not taking any unnecessary extra hours. So if you do not have to work over the weekend, don't take that job. Instead, spend time on your own self-development. Like, what is that thing that you would rather do rather than working your 9 to 5, and channel your energy into that thing. If you want to go into music or you want to learn an instrument, spend your spare time learning that instrument. It could be anything you want for yourself, to be honest, but my point is your spare time should be for you. Reserve that for yourself and do not give that to anyone. Keep it to yourself. Spend time developing yourself. Like, you can get 1 hour during the day or 2 hours during the day. Spend time on yourself. And this might mean that you might need to set boundaries at work. It is not every workload you take on, you kind of like wait, do you have time for this? Is this within your hours? If it's not, know when to say no, know when to take it, know your limit. Don't overwork yourself to the point that you don't have time for your own self and your self-development. Another thing I would want you to do is to kind of like assess the work culture of your company. So if the culture of your company or where you work is really, really bad, you might end up being very miserable. I always say that your job, your 9 to 5, is where you spend most of your waking hours on. So Monday to Friday, you're at work for like what, 40 hours minimum at work. That's a lot of time spending at work. If you're spending that amount of time at work and you are working in a toxic place, and then someone is out to get you every time, somebody is making you miserable and uncomfortable, you pretty much feel very miserable and hate your job and probably hate your life. In this case, I would actually advise that you kind of like switch companies if you can, because staying there would only make you feel very horrible and stressed out and you might just hate yourself and hate your life. So you might want to move to a company that the work culture is great. For example, where I work, the work culture is amazing. Everyone is really nice. Everyone is out to help you. No one judges you. No one looks down on you. No one makes you feel any type of way. Everyone is just there to kind of like encourage each other. That is the type of space and work environment that you need. And having an environment where everyone encourages you and kind of like helps you, and you're also there to help them, it makes life a bit better because you're not having a horrible time at work and things are just better, right? So you might want to explore like switching companies and changing your job if possible. I also want you to do a life audit and ask yourself certain questions. Are you working far away from home? That's the first question I want you to ask yourself. So do you have to take a bus or a train for over an hour to get to work? If you're doing that, you need to stop. It's either you move close to your work or you find something closer to you, because spending a lot of time getting to work, this is not even just about the travel time. It's the time you spend, you wake up to get prepared to leave the house and to get to your destination, to get to work. You would have used that time for something else, right? Or the time you would leave work and get back home, and then when you're back home, you would have to kind of like find dinner, speak to family and friends, and the night is already over, and then you repeat the same circle the next day. It's not even only the time involved in getting to your destination, even the money you spend on transportation to get to your destination, that money can be channeled into something else. So if you're living very far away from where you work, you might either want to consider moving closer to your work or finding a job that's closer to you. That would take out a lot of stress. If you work from home, I also want you to ask yourself if you are spending your time doing the work that you're meant to do. Most times we get distracted when we work from home and use our phones and do other things that we're not supposed to be doing during work hours, and then we notice that time has gone, and then we have deadlines, and then we end up working overtime to meet our deadlines, and then you spend all your extra time attending to work when you could have easily used the time that was designated for the actual job to do the job. So you're the one like causing issues for yourself in the first place, if you get what I mean. So you spend your 9 to 5 on your work and nothing else. Also, I want you to kind of like pay attention to the job that you're doing. I'm a firm believer of whatever your hand find it to do, do it well. There's a lot you could gain from working 9 to 5. You're in a professional space, you could learn how to be very professional. You're learning how to engage with stakeholders. You're learning how to manage people. You're learning how to manage expectations. You learn how to deal with a lot of crazy things that come up at work. There are also a lot of skills that you could get that would be transferable when you eventually decide that this 9 to 5 is no longer for me, and you can apply that to wherever you're going. So focus on your work and pick up whatever you're meant to pick up, because it could help you in the future. Finally, what I want you to do is, while you are doing your 9 to 5, whatever it is that you're interested in, start it as a side hustle rather than quitting. Just transition into it, because it will take you approximately 1 to 2 years to get your business up and running, and most times it's usually without pay. 9 to 5 can actually help generate income to pump into what you're doing. You need some level of stability, and you would need money eventually as a form of capital to kick off what you want to do. And having that constant stream of income, that flow of money every month, can help you save up towards whatever would be helpful to your job. So it's still a win-win anyways. You are still getting some money that you're using to finance your other projects and your passion and your interests, right? And then when it gets to that point where you can quit, then quit. In fact, a lot of YouTubers did that. There are a lot of them that transitioned. They were still doing their full-time job while doing YouTube, and they eventually quit their 9 to 5 when their YouTube picked up. So who is selling this idea to you to quit without a plan? That's ridiculous. Okay, the misconception here is that people that are doing their 9 to 5 do not enjoy their roles, do not enjoy their life, do not enjoy the job, and that is a lie. That is a big misconception. Some people are very satisfied where they are. Some people are not born to be entrepreneurs. Some people are actually okay working 9 to 5, and sometimes, depending on the job you are doing, there are a lot of satisfaction that comes with your job, 9 to 5 or not. So that is a huge misconception. Enjoy every stage in life, wherever you are. Enjoy it, and do not compare yourself to someone else. And because someone else quit, you don't have to quit. They only tell you the glamorous side of it. They don't tell you the downside of it. And I don't know if there are even a lot of videos like talking about the effects, the downside of actually quitting your job. So think it twice, okay? And if you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, and comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.